The Lonely Snow Globe Snowman. Chris was a snow globe snowman, and he spent his days the way that most snow globe snowmen do, sitting on a shelf and watching the world go by. However, Chris was a lonely snow globe snowman, which meant that instead of sitting in the room of a happy child and bringing joy, Chris sat all alone on a shop shelf, wearing nothing but a scarf on top of his white body. Throughout the winter, children and parents alike trudged into the store, looking for the perfect winter gift. But poor Chris was never chosen. Staying at the back of the shelf, he watched as spiders spun their webs and dust covered his beautiful glass like a lace blanket. Chris spent his day fiddling with his carrot nose or rearranging the black buttons to make snowflake shapes. Unsurprisingly, he started to lose hope. No one would want a back-of-the-shelf dust and cobweb-coated snow globe with a lonely snowman, would they? Early one morning, before the shop opened and the staff were running around and rearranging the stock, a hand appeared through the thick cluster of white globes. It felt around for a few seconds before firmly grabbing Chris's home and lifting it away from the shelf. Trying not to fall as the ground shook beneath him, Chris was filled with a new feeling that he had never felt before. Hope. Wondering where this giant could be taking him, the snowman eagerly shoved his face against the cold glass, trying to make something out between the dull dust. Suddenly, the movement stopped as the snow globe was placed on some sort of surface. But the light that had been shining on his face mere moments ago was gone. With 2 sprays of liquid and a wipe with a cloth, Chris was able to see a brown box surrounding his precious home. Uh-oh! The only boxes Chris had ever seen were strange storage room boxes. Was he really about to be shoved in the cold corner of a dark and dank storage room? With all of his hopes smothered by the closed lid of the box, the sad snowman slumped against the familiar cold round glass and stared at the home he knew so well. The fake snow settled on the floor, the empty little circle where Chris was supposed to stand, the painted Christmas tree as a tall background with brightly coloured baubles dangling from it, and the bright gold star that was too high for Chris to reach. Would anyone ever look at these again? Chris doubted it. He must have fallen asleep, because the next thing he knew, bright light was shining on him once more. Chris didn't know what was going on. He would have expected to wake as the new home of a creepy crawly. As he glanced around the globe, he noticed that the bright light was coming from the other side of some white paper, and he wondered what might lie on the other side. As if in answer to his queries, the ground started to shake once more, and the paper was suddenly torn away from the glass to reveal the grinning face of a little girl. She had beautiful dark skin and wild hair that stuck out in all directions. The girl was squeaking so loudly that Chris was left with a ringing in his ears, and he couldn't work out what was going on. The only thing his slow mind could understand was the fact that this little girl would be his new owner. His owner! She shook him up and down, and snow flew in all directions, creating a mesmerising winter wonderland. And it was the best feeling in the world. From that day onwards, Chris's life was never the same again. Instead of sitting on a lonely shelf with nothing to do. He got to make friends with the other toys and snow globe snowmen. They taught him how to leave his snow globe and go exploring, or ice skating, or playing hide and seek. Of course, he enjoyed those things. But his favourite part of the day was every morning when the little girl with the dark hair would shake him up and down and then watch until the last tiny flake of snow had settled. And then she would do it again every evening before she went to bed. Chris brought her joy, and thinking of that brought him joy. So Chris, the snow globe snowman, was never lonely again.